Meanwhile, you're always about women's business. Always talking about the sisters. Always talking to the sisters. They've got mahrams. They've got walis. They've got their guardians. And it isn't you. I mean, I hate to use their terminology, but this is about the most beta thing you can possibly do. Always in the women's section. And the irony is that these are the same ones who are endlessly droning on and on about masculinity. Meanwhile, you can't do the basic thing, the most basic thing that men do as men, which is to ignore women. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but women have their world, their sphere, and men have their world and their sphere. But meanwhile, you're always trying to weasel your way into the sphere of women, under the guise of nasiha, under the guise of advice. But you're just like a peeping Tom who's trying to justify why he's doing what he's doing by saying that you're just trying to check up on the sisters to make sure that they're safe. No, it's not your business. The men are over here, brother. Meanwhile, you keep sliding your way back to where the sisters are. And this is very disrespectful. It's very insulting to their walis. I mean, let's take this offline, Let me catch you on the street talking to my wife or talking to my sisters about how they shouldn't go out, or they shouldn't go to the gym, or they shouldn't go to school, or you don't like the way they're dressed, or what have you. I wish you would. You better hope that that red pill you took is a painkiller, because you're going to be dancing cheek to cheek with the concrete here.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type that come through with that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these cans tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life, boo.
All right there, ladies and gentlemen. Can y'all hear me now? Give me a 1 or a 2 if you can hear me. Give me a 1 or a 2 if you can hear me. I think I might have solved my problem here. Can you hear me now, Cher?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good enough there. My apologies there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Shop. I'm your nighttime, right time DJ, DJ Music. And of course, joining me, my co-host, Cher Willie. How you doing, Cher? Say hello to the good folks. I think I got everything squared away now.
Hello, everyone. Happy hump day to you. Yay.
Hump day. That's what it is. Let me turn down the background noise just a little bit. All right there, Cher. As you can see, normally I must be getting ready to talk about music since I got my little classic R&B jams moniker up there, huh?
Maybe.
you think, especially when I titled the stream "Music and Mayhem." So let's get to the music part of it first, and then we'll go to the mayhem. All right.
All right.
Good enough. All right. So how's things going in the Shy? What's going on with you? How's the weather? Everything all right? Everything good?
Rain, foggy, temperatures dipped. Not nice.
Tragic. Hey there, Tit for Tap. Let me go ahead and see. Let me holler at some folks down here now. I'm sure y'all folks can hear me now. Hey Zahara, how you doing? Of course, my co-host Cher Willie, ABT, up off in this piece. Y'all come on in, sit a spell. Try and keep this under. I'll try and keep it under 2 hours. But first, you Sure, of course, you know what I do. I'm a landscaper, but by trade, I'm really a DJ, mobile DJ. I have my own radio station. I do live parties, events, weddings, bar mitzvahs, wherever there's music to be played. You've known me long enough to know that's kind of what I do, right?
Yes.
And also, you've known me. I think you know me well enough to know that I'm sort of not to pat myself on the back, but wouldn't you think that I'm sort of a musical historian?
You are.
Yeah. Because when I first started using the moniker of DJ Music and Live, I didn't spell it with the IQ capitalized. Someone else told me I should do that, just based on what they thought I knew about music. So earlier today, right? I was listening to Sharon Bracey's stream, the Wildest Wake Up Morning Show. Shout out to you, Sharon. And they was up there talking about music.
Okay.
I listened for a while. Some different things, and they were talking about popular music and auto-tune and Roger, right? So when I heard them start talking about Roger and Zapp and saying that auto-tune was a birth of Zapp, I thought to myself, wait a minute now, me being a music historian, I know that auto-tune wasn't invented to middle 90s, like 96, 97. Roger and Zapp was doing, I won't call it auto-tune, but he was using a voice back. When did Computer Love come out? 85?
Yeah, he had something in his mouth that he was using.
Right. But was it called auto-tune?
No, it wasn't called that.
No, it was not. So my question to him when I got up on the panel was, how could you say that Zap was using auto-tune when it wasn't invented yet. When that
And what
makes
was
somebody named Beans
Bird?
say, there we go. And always somebody coming up here trying to say, but wait a minute. Right is right, regardless of where you get the information from, folks. Me being somewhat of a music historian, I can tell you that what we saw Roger doing, and Roger Troutman and Zapp and all of them, they was not what we call now auto-tune. Auto-tune was not commercially used until Cher's song, If You Believe in Love After Love. That was the first time that auto-tune was successfully used in any song. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if something was not invented before they was using something, somebody tried to convince me. A young lady was trying to convince me that what was it? What did she say? That the voice box and auto tune is a derivative of each other. They're not. They can't be. But I'm trying to make a long story short here. But let's get into here. This will explain everything that I'm talking about. This maybe for those who you were confused about what I was saying, this will explain everything. And we're not going to listen to the whole clip, but it's not that I'm trying to prove somebody wrong. I'm just trying to educate people that sometimes when folks come up on your different panels and they offer their in this case what I would consider expertise, don't brush it off. Not everybody comes up on these panels to scream and yell. Yeah, he Beans thinks he knows everything. It really does. I did notice that. He said, y'all listen to this. Beans said that the South, the dirty South, the dirty South rap music, that's what killed hip hop. Beans said that. Is hip hop dead? Anybody? What you think, Cher? Hip hop dead?
I don't think it's dead. I think it may be dying, but no, it's not dead because it's still making money off of it.
Yeah. Let me. I don't know what Beans was talking about, but let's go back to this auto-tune versus voice box. There are two different animals there, folks. For those of you that was listening to Sharon Bracey's panel this morning, maybe this will help you a little bit to try and explain what I was trying to explain to you guys. Let me go and move this clip off the screen here. I know y'all was looking for a loose nigga roundup. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to it. Sometimes you just got to try and educate folks a little bit.
What do you picture? Is it T-Pain? Or maybe more recent pioneers like Travis Scott or Young Thug? Maybe you picture Jay-Z's 2009 hit Death of Autotune. Autotune actually predates all of these by over a decade. GoldenEye 007 for the N64 had just released. IBM's Deep Blue chess playing computer beat Garry Kasparov, a chess grandmaster who had previously never lost to a human opponent before, and the first NASA rover landed on Mars. On September 19th, Antares Autotune is released. Wait, let's rewind a sec, because how this program got made is part of the story too. Andy Hildebrand, born on May 12, 1954 in Coronado, California, was a research engineer at Exxon, the oil giant, from 1976 to 1989. Before his time at Exxon, he attended the University of Michigan for his bachelor's degree in systems science. During this time, he worked in Washington, D.C. for the U.S. Navy, where he developed a precursor to GPS technology called SRN-9. Later on, he became more interested in mathematics rather than hardware development, so he went on to get both his master's and PhD at the University of Illinois in electrical engineering. He wrote his thesis with the absurdly long title of Nonlinear Filters for Estimating.
I know this part is kind of boring, but there's context to everything. All right there. YSU Stizzy, what do you mean? How do you submit songs to the radio station? If you go down the description, there's a link to the radio station, or you probably find my email there, and you can submit a song there. Or is that what you're referring to? If you have music that you're trying to submit to the radio station, yes, You can submit it to my email. That's what you're referring to, but let's continue.
An insect population density. Following his graduation from UIUC, he started working in the production research sector at Exxon. He did some pretty complicated stuff at Exxon that I'm way too dumb to understand. After retiring from Exxon, he ended up attending school again, this time at the Shepherd School of Music at Rice University in Texas. During this time, he founded the company Antares Audio Technologies and developed the first version of Autotune. It was the first program that could, in real time, correct the pitch of anyone's voice. This completely changed the music industry.
Before this, no one was using what they called Autotune before 1997. For all of you that was on Sharon Bracey's panel this morning, that's why I was so animate in saying the two were not the same. What Roger was using was a voice box with a connection to a keyboard, that because everybody's voice is a frequency or a modulated frequency or whatever. So when to get his voice to sound like he was using a keyboard, that's all he had to do. But before this, only Roger could do that. He was unique in that. But now that Autotunes had made it available for everyone to do it. But it was more so for the music, not the voice. And that's what I was trying to explain earlier. But let's continue on a little further here.
Resulting pitch. It must also add or remove portions of the waveform, because if Autotune raises the pitch of the audio, the waveform will become shorter, and thus not the same length as the audio that was inputted. The same can be said for lowering the pitch. It will just remove part of the waveform to match the length of the input. However, it is a bit more complex than that because human voices are not a pure tone like a sine wave is. They have many different stacked frequencies. This makes it a lot more complicated for Autotune to correct a human voice. I'm definitely not smart enough to understand the intricacies of how the program works beyond that short description, but here are some of the equations used by Autotune to correct the pitch of a human voice. Yeah, holy f***. Anyways, that's enough of that. Let's get back to the more interesting parts of this video. Fast forward 2 years. It's October 22nd, 1998. Believe by Cher, the first commercial song to use Autotune, was crashing onto radio airwaves. The song's reception upon release was extremely positive. Publications cited the creativity of the vocal effect, and it was described as present tense disco. However, the robotic-sounding dance pop tune Believe was not actually using Autotune for its prescribed purpose. It had originally been created to subtly fix imperfections in someone's vocal performance. A quote from the patent for the software reads, "When voices or instruments are out of tune, the emotional qualities of the performance are lost."
And that was another thing that I heard on the panel today, that folks was using Autotune, but because they could not sing. That is not true. Autotune will not help you sing any better. It only corrects subtleties in your voice. If you can't sing, you can't sing. Autotune is not going to help you. And you know who found that out? I forgot the young lady's name, but she did a live tour. Or if y'all remember the group Fine Young Cannibals, everything they did was Autotune. And first time they went to a live performance, we all found out that none of them could sing. Even going back to Milli Vanilli, although Milli Vanilli was using other folks' voice, they actually could sing. T-Pain actually can sing, and that's why he stopped using Autotune, because folks were saying he could not sing. But we all now know that is absolutely crazy. T-Pain can sing. He can carry a tune quite well.
That description is vastly different from how the software is used today and in the song Believe. Because the effect was used in such a creative way, critics described her performance as nothing like she's ever done, and a club track so caffeinated it not only microwaved her cold career to scorching hot, but gave dance music its biggest hit since the days of disco. I think this perfectly describes what Autotune did to the music industry. New tools breed creativity and lead to the making of new and innovative pieces of art. After Cher's Believe was released, there were relatively few artists who were taking advantage of Autotune for quite a while. There was the odd album here and there, like Radiohead's 2001 Amnesiac. Their goal was to create a nasally, depersonalized sound, and the lead singer was quoted as saying, "The software desperately tries to search for the music in your speech and produces notes at random. If you've assigned it a key, you've got music." Not exactly a ringing endorsement.
And exactly, that's the point that they were talking about, that some folks were talking about. That's why Autotune killed the actual star, because anyone could get take a clip of something, add a little bit to it, sharpen it, and refine it. 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, you could possibly have a hit song, what they call pop music. Not popular music. There's a difference when they were saying that earlier today. Popular music encompasses everything. It could be rap, it could be R&B, it could be country and western, it could be grunge. That is called popular music. Now, it's a subgenre called popular music, pop music, like Britney Spears, like Cher. And the reason why that pop music genre was created because they had nowhere else to put artists like Cher. They couldn't put them under R&B artists because they were not. They couldn't put them under rock artists because they were not. They couldn't put them under singer-songwriters because they were not. They could not put them under country and western artists. So they shortened popular music to make a genre called pop music. Y'all remember the song? Pop music. Boogie with a suitcase. That's what it was meaning. You can make music anywhere. Boogie with a suitcase.
During the early 2000s, autotune was fairly low-key. It wasn't until later that it exploded into the musical mainstream and caused many controversies. The date is August 9th, 2005. T-Pain comes out with his hit single, I'm Sprung, which would reach number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100. This would be the first time autotune was thrust into the mainstream of the music industry for listeners, artists, and labels alike. This opened the floodgates and exposed the software to pretty much anyone who listened to music. Even your grandma probably knows what autotune is because of T-Pain. He continued to release a metric load of hits taking advantage of autotune and defined his sound using the software. If you lived through the mid-2000s, you would know that T-Pain was almost inescapable. When I say that, I am not joking in the slightest. This dude had an absolutely insane number of songs on the Billboard Hot 100 at any given time during the mid and late 2000s.
And and that's why I came to question whether T-Pain could sing or not, because all the songs was that what they call pop music. It had that infectious dance track to it. It had a catchy lyric that everyone could remember, and it also was widely commercially publicized by folks like me, radio stations. And why do we publicize that type music? Because at that time, when T-Pain was out there, that's what you, the listener, was asking for, T-Pain music. So again, goes back to what we now call popular music. It encompasses everything. And that's what Hall & Oates is what we consider blue-eyed soul. They are singing soul music. That was another conversation that they had today. What is soul music and what is neo soul? Well, we all know. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but neo means new soul, a blend of something, of R&B and jazz. Am I correct? I think so.
Throughout his career, he had 48 songs in the top 100, 15 of which were top 10 and 3 of which were number 1 hits. Songs like Buy You a Drink, I'm in Love with a Stripper, and Bartender were all defined by his unique robotic-sounding vocals and incredibly catchy R&B inspired pop beats. It's safe to say that the mainstream music listener not only loved T-Pain's writing and musical style, but also the autotune sound. Again, with T-Pain, autotune was being used in a way that it was not initially intended. Rather, it was being used as a creative style choice. Things were good for autotune. It was incredibly popular, well-liked by most artists and listeners, and it was a new creative tool for people to dive into. But things weren't all good though. There were plenty of criticisms of autotune as well. Let's fast forward a bit to 2009. Jay-Z released his hit single Death of Autotune on June 5th, 2009. The song was about the overusage of autotune in popular music. While Jay-Z stated that he appreciated the use of the software from talented artists with an ear for melody like T-Pain and Kanye West, he thought far too many people had started using it for no other reason than as a crutch for not being able to sing.
And that was part of the controversy of T-Pain. Folks thought T-Pain couldn't sing. But as with anything, folks, it's such thing called overkill. You know how when you get into your car at 6 o'clock in the morning and you hear the same song, you get back in at 10:30, you hear the same song, and you hear the same song over and over and over. That's overkill. And that's what Jay-Z was trying to explain. Everybody was trying to sound like T-Pain because of that infectious sound that auto-tune brought to it. Easy to dance to, easy a catchphrase line, and you could get rich overnight. T-Pain had 48 songs in the top 100. That's almost unprecedented. That's why so many people with a computer and a little bit of time on your hands, you too. Do y'all hear of Daft Punk anymore? Y'all hear about anybody talk about him? I don't.
Jay-Z also said that one of the main inspirations for the song was seeing an advertisement for Wendy's that had used autotune in it, and that made him feel as though autotune was once used as a tool for creativity, but was now a gimmick. Jay-Z wasn't the only one who had problems with autotune. Many artists and listeners alike were opposed to the software being used, as they thought it removed all of the talent from music. Artists like Death Cab for Cutie, Christina Aguilera, and Usher were critics of the software. T-Pain had said in an interview that Usher at one point told him that he f***ed up music for real singers while they were on an airplane together. Not exactly something you want to hear as an artist. It had sent T-Pain down a spiral of depression and confusion because at the time, Usher was his friend. T-Pain even questioned himself after that moment and began to ask himself, wow, was he right? Did I f*** up music?
He was like, man, I want to tell you something, man. I was like, what's good? I thought he was about to tell me something real. He sounded real concerned. He was like, man, you kind of f***ed up music. I didn't understand. Usher was my friend. He was like, nah, man, you really f***ed up music for real singers. Literally at that point, I couldn't listen. Is he right? Did I f*** this up? Did I f*** up music?
Even Time Magazine had quoted.
And sometimes, folks, if you listen to the general public, and if you listen to especially those that's supposed to be close to you, you would think that. But to me, and at that time, the T-Pain was hot. It wasn't that he fucked up music. It's what the general crowd, what the club scene wanted. Now, as a DJ and as a radio personality, these were the requests we wasn't getting a whole lot of requests for Usher in the middle of the daytime. Nobody wanted to hear love songs while they were at work, especially if they was working in a dock somewhere. But hey, I'm with that bartender. That was hitting all times of the day. Usher, of course, he was the crooner. Of course, some of the songs that he did have, they caught radio airspace. But a lot of those songs that Usher made, of course, were for a different audience. Don't get upset. Don't shoot the messenger.
An anonymous Grammy-winning recording engineer saying, let's just say I've had autotune save vocals on everything from Britney Spears to Bollywood cast albums, and every singer now presumes that you'll just run their voice through the box. Time Magazine had listed it in their top 50 worst inventions list in 2010. Autotune had become so ubiquitous that it became rarer to record with an artist not using it than with someone who does. However, there were still a number of people supporting autotune and praising it as another tool in a music producer's arsenal to bolster creativity and help push people over the vocal cutting edge. It's safe to say there were many people on both sides of the aisle when it came to whether or not autotune was a creative tool or a piece of garbage that had ruined the music industry. Autotune itself would continue to be updated by Antares over the years and gain new features along the way. Originally, it was only capable of real-time pitch correction with no editor for individual syllables or notes. The algorithm was improved, and each iteration made it easier to save less than savory vocal performances without making them sound completely robotic. Eventually, it became more complex, gaining features like better vibrato control, the ability to generate its own vibrato, a humanized knob, format shifting, and the ability to target specific notes. It was eventually expanded to include a MIDI graph editor so that engineers could precisely edit specific syllables in pitch, length, and timing.
There's the part that confuses me is, okay, this is a tool to help an artist become better, but not a tool to help just anyone sing. But as you can see here, you could sound like me and with the right folks behind you, if who you know and how you know, and present it to the right person, you can be you too can have the next hit album. And it's all about software. It's all about the time that you want to spend to correct this. Because I know some of you folks have seen some of the advertisements that I've used on my YouTube channel, especially some of the shorts. Some of those voices that you hear are AI generated. Char, are you here?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Remember those AI generated things that it did? What did I ask you? Does it sound like me? What was your response?
I said yes, and I knew after maybe eh, 15, 20 seconds, that wasn't you.
Okay. So it only picked up slight characteristics of my voice, correct?
Yes.
Right. I think ABT, you had mentioned something about it too, but you could tell right away that although that AI generated voice sounded similar to me, it was actually not me.
It was a fake, baby.
The jig is up. AI, you busted.
I know the truth.
Right, but I just wanted to cover that part of it, because it's not that I was trying to correct anyone on it, but it's just best to give out correct information, especially when it's on the stream. Now, the last part of this, we'll take uh, this off the screen here, to this guy named Beans. Look, man, the loudest dude in the room is not necessarily the correct. Okay, just because you're loud, just because you're obnoxious, and just because you can name a few hit songs, that does not make you a music aficionado. That just tells me that you know a little bit about music. For you to say that the South ruined hip hop, and then y'all up there, you and Sharon, yeah, I'm talking to you, Sharon, on this one too. Y'all up there talking about some artists from New York that no one down in the chat room or on the panel heard of, calling that hip hop. And Beans, last thing here, brother, hip hop itself is not a genre. Hip hop is the culture. Rap is the music of this hip hop culture. Whether it started from 1979 with the Sugar Hill Gang, or you can go before that, Jimmy Spicer, or you can go before that, what's his name, Super Wolf. I don't know why he would say that, Lana. I understand. I don't understand it. Just say you don't like Southern rap. Don't just say you don't like what do they call that, Southern style hip hop. Just say you don't like Outkast. Just say you don't like Lil Jon. Just say you don't like trap music. The last part of this conversation, they was all up there talking about how drill music and all that is going to evolve. How can drill music evolve when all of its founders is damn near dead? Evolve into what? Beans.
The Walking Dead, maybe?
That's it. And they were talking about how hip hop is recognizable. One part he said, Shar, he said, if the aliens was to come down and I had to play two songs that was recognizable for all hip hop, all to encompass hip hop, he said some artists that no one heard of. I can't even remember what he said.
That wouldn't help then.
No, if I can't remember, it wouldn't help. Or you wouldn't play Eric B or Rakim or something like that. I ain't no joke.
Okay.
You wouldn't play Run DMC, Rock the Bells. You
Right.
wouldn't play Mama Said Knock You Out.
Okay.
You wouldn't play The Message. You wouldn't play Dougie Fresh, The Show. You would
Okay.
play some obscure rapper that you know in New York and say, this would, if you want to get into hip hop, start here. No, sir. You know that was leading to something. The loose nigga roundup.
Woohoo!
Folks, I got to watch Anton. So when I figured out a way that I don't have to watch him while I'm talking about him. Okay, I watch him to see what he's saying. But instead of the video Anton, I'm just going to give you the voice of Anton. Okay? This nigga today was talking about Trump telling Walmart that they had to eat the cost of tariffs. That Walmart should lose money over the tariffs. So he did a stream on it, folks. Let me go pull it up. Like I said, I didn't. I don't see this nigga on the screen unless I have to.
As wild as that sound, I wouldn't be surprised that Trump said that. I think what we're about to be surprised is him being backed up.
That's the point of it, Shar. It's too many people taking this seriously. What Trump is really asking those American companies that's going to be high, as we see closer week by week, as we get closer into the summer, we see prices going up. Walmart is definitely one of those because they advertise at low prices, but Walmart prices have gone up 17% here in the last month. Just think about that. We used to go in Walmart and get something for $7.99. It's now $9.99. That's the neighborhood grocery store now. And I'm not talking about the super Walmart. But y'all listen to what this dude got to say, man. First, let me put this back up on the screen. Hold up just 1 second. Let me do this. Y'all listen to what Anton's got to say here. And Anton, you know, as I'm watching you, more and more of your stuff pops up in my algorithm. A whole lot of folks on YouTube don't like you. Yeah, I've noticed that, Anton. A whole lot of folks don't like you. Y'all see on the screen here. See those three clips, thumbnails right there. Those were the last three things that I watched about on Anton. Okay. Yes, all this was in the last 24 to 48 hours. Some people can call it what you want, call it hate watching, whatever. I don't care. But you can't talk about a subject if you don't watch them or you don't listen to them. So I can't critique something based on what somebody else's opinion is. So let me do it my way. Yeah, I got to sit through and listen to 19 again. I got to ask you this, Shar. If you was a millionaire, you see those three things right there?
Uh-huh.
All those happened in one day. If you was a millionaire, do you think you would have time to do all of this?
No. And that's minus even doing the editing. Just to do the content itself, you don't have time to do those three.
Okay. All right. I just thought it was me. Thought it was me. Let me go back over here. I forgot where I put it at. That's what happened. Like I said, folks, I'm not going to have to have y'all sit through Anton, the dude, but y'all gonna have to sit through Anton, the voice. All right, so let's get with it. Here we go.
Trump is telling Walmart that they need to eat the tariffs, allegedly. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turning notifications. Let's look at it from a couple different lenses.
Walmart says their first quarter profits slipped and they have to raise their prices as a result of the tariffs, threatening their low price model.
The prices are just too on the high side. It's on the high side, especially for middle class, low income earners. It's tough. When you have 2-3 children, groceries.
But it's the reality for consumers across the country. Walmart is the latest retailer to announce price hikes due to the rising tariffs on China and other countries imposed by the Trump administration.
If these tariffs prove to be permanent, they will probably likely reevaluate that supply chain and find and source products from other countries that have perhaps lower tariffs to basically ensure.
Well, folks, there ain't no likely because that's exactly what's happening right now. There's goods, perishables rotting on docks because no one is buying American shipped goods because of the tariffs on both sides. Stuff that's supposed to be coming into the country is rotting. Stuff that's supposed to be leaving out of the country is rotting. But who's feeling the price? Who's feeling the uptick of the prices? Us, the general American consumer that's going to go to your neighborhood Walmart. Because you're going to hear this dumb, loose nigga say that Walmart really does not sell groceries. Anton, you idiot. 53% of what Walmart sells is groceries. But I thought you were a businessman. I thought you knew commerce.
Can continue to call themselves a low price retailer.
Towson University economist Darius Irani says the tariffs have been lowered from 145% to 30%, but the effect on consumers is still the same.
145% is effectively sort of a blockade, an embargo, because at that price, at that level of tariffs, it becomes almost it's not profitable at all to import those goods. 30%, there's still a margin to be made, but some of that increase in cost will be borne by the consumers.
Shoppers say they've already noticed prices going up because of inflation, and they say they are feeling the pinch.
Things that I used to buy, don't really buy them anymore, or I cut down on, most of my list.
Families say they're tightening their belts as best they can, but there's only so much they can do without. They're not looking forward to more price hikes.
Remember, this is not the only thing we got to do. We got clothing, we got to pay bills, we got to pay electricity, we got to pay car insurance.
Well, listen, if you don't like it, then you're going to go ahead and go back to where you came from. That's what I stand on.
And that's
I don't like nobody sitting there telling me what it is that we need to be doing inside of America and complaining and with the scrunch face. I don't like it.
And who gives a flying fuck what you like? Honestly, Anton, who really cares what you like? It has nothing to do with where you're from. It has nothing to do with it. It's obvious this person is shopping and she's telling that reporter that everything is high. What does that got to do with where she's originally from or where she came from? Cher, can you answer that question for me, please? Any idea?
Not at all, because even if I had a clue, it's going to change as the show continues.
Well, so far, Anton, I don't understand your logic. You're stepping out instead of saying, well, I can understand what you're saying because prices are going up, but not you, Anton. This is what you kept on saying. Y'all listen.
Like it. I said the same thing, Western 108. Is this Walmart in Africa or what? Why? What is all of these people that keep coming on there with these guys? And listen, don't worry about it. I rock with everybody. I'm not discriminatory, but all I'm saying is,
well, how the fuck you mean you're not discriminatory? Did you just made a mockery of an entire continent?
Listen to people that's not from here telling me what it is that it needs to happen here with our president. Can you even vote is my question. Can you even vote? Now that we got that part out the way, the first thing that I want to say is, when did y'all start caring so much about whether or not Walmart was so successful and great?
Y'all hear this?
Let her make it, Anton? All right, cool.
Y'all hear this?
When did we start caring about big box retailers? I remember 25 years ago. People in different communities were trying to block Walmart from being able to build stores because it effectively hurt other small businesses and retailers that they had to depend against.
But that is called, as you say, that is called capitalism. Walmart, as we all know, I don't know, Cher, do they have Walmart neighborhood stores where you live at?
With the downsizing, they all closed.
Right.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, they did come into business. Go ahead.
Right. But when you went to the neighborhood Walmarts, were you able to buy a tent there?
The neighborhood, I don't think so, but I know with the larger ones you could.
The superstores is what they call them. The Walmart superstores, you could go and buy those items, but the neighborhood stores were there for one purpose only: grocery stores. That was the complaint, that they came in with low prices, and the other grocery stores, or in some cases, the mom and pop grocery stores couldn't compete with the local.
Right, they couldn't compete. That is true. And that's what that was all about.
That was it. It had nothing to do with the box stores, because the mom and pop retail stores and convenience stores weren't up against the big box stores, like you said, which would have been considered what, Costco or Sam's Club. Those are the big box stores. Am I correct?
Those are big ones.
Yeah. So why would he refer to a neighborhood grocery store as a big box store? It isn't.
See, that's why I said it's no sense me trying to figure out the first part, because the logic is going to change.
Right, because he'll say something else stupid. Is that what you were trying to say?
No, I wasn't trying to say that. No, I wasn't.
Okay. She ain't nice like me, folks, but that's what it was. I know. All right, Anton. Hey, come on, man.
Y'all was just trying to boycott Walmart. Now y'all sitting there advocating for them because you saying that the prices is high. I thought, now correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be off on this. I thought that y'all didn't care about big box retailers because they put out of business all of the smaller retailers and the people that was of the community that owned their own businesses. Now y'all care about Walmart? Now y'all care about lower prices guaranteed? Walmart killed Kmart and ain't nobody say nothing. Walmart killed Sears, ain't nobody say nothing. Walmart killed.
First of all, Anton.
No.
No.
Now, see, I'm getting angry now. I'm getting angry because I know I got 10 years on him. He's
Listen,
45,
folks,
so
let me ask. Right, let me ask y'all something. When's the last time you went to Kmart and bought a loaf of bread?
You didn't go for that. Plus, you didn't go for that. That's all I can say.
When's the last time you went to Sears and bought and looked for a loaf of bread or a carton of eggs? But this is a man that holds a show called the Millionaire Morning Show. And y'all folks over there eating this shit up. This is why I'm talking about Anton Daniels. You cannot be. What's the guy's name? I don't know him well, but he was doing something about Anton today. Is it sure? But am I saying this name correct? If you heard of him before, Red Supreme.
Yeah, Red Supreme. Yeah, that's his name. Yes.
Right. He was going over Anton Daniels and the debacle with what's his name? Jason Whitlock, Shitlock, and Maurice Watkins. Those guys over there talking about the South Africans and black what they call it, black fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Never mentioned once. That's what listening to Red Supreme, and I didn't think about this, but not once during that entire interview that he was sitting down to did he ever mention the ills of white folk.
Nor will he. Nick, I really like to say this.
Sure.
As a business person, if you can't sell your product, what are you in business for if you can't sell it? What, you just gonna keep it? Oh, well, I don't want to go up. Then I'm gonna keep it $7.97. $7.99 because that's what I'm known for. You push your product, which means you're going to increase in price. You may reduce the number of hours that your people are working. You're cutting your staff, or and if you do cut your staff, you're going to have them do more work. That's what we notice about business. So what he has started talking about already, I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense when it comes to business. And I'm going to leave it in that.
And that's the only reason why I'm speaking about him, because when it comes to business, if you folks are over there following this guy for business advice, you might as well be following me. And I'm not going to give you none. Not like this anyway. Everything about this guy he's a glorified gossip columnist. I've been watching him, folks. I've been listening to his streams, painfully listening to his streams. Whatever that title is, That's not what he's talking about. He might mention it in passing, but that's not what he's talking about. Yo, excuse me here. Let me get back over here. Where am I at?
Killed Bubba Gump's meat market over here and they killed the local community over there, and nobody tripped. Nobody said nothing. Guess what?
What?
If you wake up on a weekend, on a Saturday or Sunday, and I know that this happens in multiple cities.
Okay.
I know that this happens in multiple cities. If you wake up on the weekend, like here in Detroit, we got Eastern Market, and Eastern Market has existed forever.
I want y'all to understand
prices
something.
Lower than Walmart. Well, Anton, how can you?
I want y'all to understand something. He's about to tell y'all to go to the farmer's market. Now, Cher, you live in Chicago, right?
Yes.
How often is the farmer's market open up there?
Summertime only.
So what the folks supposed to do with the rest of the time? What's the
up at Walmart? I don't know.
What's the purpose? What's the purpose of a farmer's market, y'all? To sell produce, different things like that, right? Mostly. You might find some other things there, but mostly it's there to sell. Like a farmer might have had an abundance of produce, and it turned to this thing where it turns into what we now call the farmer's market. Hence, Anton, the name being farmer's market.
Farm.
Now, Cher, you and we're both of us. I know you know this answer. What's my favorite food?
Grapes.
Okay, so don't you think I know when grapes are in season?
Yes, you do.
If I told you right now grapes was in season, would I be lying?
Let's see. What is this? June? No, it's May. No, it's not in season. You said about October, November to about
August, from the middle of August till like August, September. And usually around the end of September, that's when they start dropping off the vines if you have not collected them.
Right. Okay.
So in December, why would I go to the farmer's market looking for fresh grapes? Anybody got any answers for these common sense ass questions that I'm asking here? I guess Anton, if he's forgetting one thing, I am a country boy. All right, Anton, but it gets worse, y'all. It gets worse.
I believe
it gets worse.
Anton, how can you get prices lower than Walmart? Because you're going directly to the source of the places that farm this stuff. You're going to get the fresh fruit, the fresh strawberries, right? All of the things. You can actually shop at a farmer's market. You could shop directly from the people that buy the things, the people that make the eggs and all of this stuff. You don't have to shop at a big box retailer. You said Anton is gaslighting. How am I gaslighting?
Now,
I haven't even gotten to the...
Y'all hear that? Now, there's one person that called him out saying Anton is gaslighting. That threw his whole premise off. He could not understand that someone was literally in his chat room saying, Anton, you gaslighting.
He was cooking, interrupting him.
Of all them comments that was flowing in that chat room, because I'll give credit where credit's due. There's a lot of people that listen to him. Not taking that away from you, but you noticed them bad comments rather quick. Hold up, did somebody say something bad about me?
They disagree with me.
What? And in here, in my chat room, disagreeing? I'm gaslighting. What? I'm gaslighting. I don't even know how to spell that. How could I be doing it?
Gaslighting. How am I gaslighting? I haven't even gotten to the part where Trump is telling them to eat the tariffs. That's the next video that I'm about to drop. How am I gaslighting? Y'all now are worshiping big box retailers when these are the same retailers that put y'all out of business. Y'all was just boycotting Walmart the other day.
Anton, do you not know the difference between retail and grocery? There's a difference between a retail chain of stores like Sears to a difference between a neighborhood Walmart to where they sell groceries, produce, some household items. Am I missing something? Sure. I know I do my own shopping and all that other shit. And I might go to the as they say, I might go to Little Macy's or what's the other place called, the dollar store. But did the big box retailer change their names to something else? Did the farmers market season change?
You know what? Just go ahead and play the foolishness and just let it roll. Just roll it.
All right.
I don't care either way because I believe in capitalism. I believe that you have to compete. That if you are a small business, that you got to figure out a way to market yourself more effectively. What I'm asking is from the shopper's perspective, why do y'all care so much about the success of Walmart?
They don't, you big dummy. You don't hear anybody complain about the success of Walmart. What they're complaining about is the prices at Walmart.
Inflation.
So have you heard anybody come up to you and say, I sure hope Walmart closed down? All right.
Why do y'all care? So y'all desperate for them to sell y'all cheap products? Do you even understand how the grocery model works? Do you understand why Walmart is actually selling 25% of all groceries in the United States of America? Every single person that buys groceries, 1 out of every 4 items that is sold from a grocery perspective is sold out of Walmart. I bet you didn't even know that.
Now, I want y'all to listen to what he just said, okay? Listen to what he just says. Then now, a little bit later on, you talk about somebody that don't know what they're talking about. He, in just about another 2 or 3 minutes, he going to say, Walmart don't really sell groceries like that.
That's what I'm saying. This man has been doing this all the time. If you just listen, he just changes everything. First, 2 + 2 is 4. Later on, 2 + 2 is 5. Later on, 2 + 2 is 4 again. You just can't take him seriously.
No, you absolutely can't. And Anton, I'll stress this again. The majority of the products that Walmart sell, whether it's in a neighborhood store or a superstore, is groceries. Over 50% of the products Walmart sell is groceries, something that you take home and cook, put in the refrigerator, eggs. It breaks it down on a list from groceries to household products, all the way down. It breaks down the percentage all the way down to what people go to Walmart for. It tells you, it gives you a breakdown of how many stores Walmart has in this country, how many stores they have abroad. But you are a multimillionaire as you tell it, but yet you don't tell your followers that this information that you put out could be. Go check that first, folks. I could possibly be wrong about this. And then you follow it up with some shit like this.
Did you know that there are places that don't even have cars and they are doing just fine and nobody? Mackinac Island, they don't even have cars.
Somebody go look up the reason why Mackinac Island does not have cars, or why you're not allowed to drive cars on Mackinac Island. I don't know where it's at, but y'all go look it up and you tell me. There's got to be a bona fide reason to why people are not allowed to drive their cars on that island. And it damn sure ain't because of smog.
Mackinac Island here in Michigan, you got to take a ferry or a boat to get to it. There are no vehicles on the road. And if you want to get around, you got to walk, you got to go by horseback, or you got to get a scooter or something like that. But they don't even have cars on Mackinac Island. No Walmarts in sight. No Walmarts in sight. And guess what? They doing just fine. Just fine. But we got to make sure that we get that cheap Chinese product. Got to get that cheap Chinese product that's giving us cancer, mass produced. They don't even make money off groceries. Walmart used grocery as a loss leader. The margin is so thin that they use it as a loss leader in order.
I told you. Did y'all just not hear what he said? 2 minutes ago, he was saying that Walmart is the number one. There's one out of so-and-so people. But now they use groceries as a loss meter. That makes sense.
I told you that's what he does. All you have to do is just listen, and you'll realize once you find a person like that, you know they're a liar. You just can't believe anything they say.
A consummate liar. He's a habitual liar. You cannot chalk this up to I'm making an honest mistake. Can you?
No, this has always been, at least every time I heard something for the last 5 or more years.
In order to get you in there to buy stuff that you don't even need. Anyways, let's move over into the next part where
children are got to go to school. We got to give them money and all that. So, I mean, it's a whole lot.
Well, Malik Two Turn says prices are way too high, Anton. Just admit it. Admit what? Prices is too high for who? What are you talking to? Price too high for who?
And this is the part, folks, that I realize that Anton, what he is lacking, is called empathy. Maybe it's stemming from his childhood. Maybe it's stemming from a bad relationship. Maybe it's stemming from low self-esteem, no confidence. But one thing he does lack is empathy. Empathy. Cognitive dissonance, Anton, is what you have. For you to say, who cares? I got mine. Fuck everybody else. Is basically what I'm hearing you say right now.
What the prices do? Look. Let me tell you something. The minute that you give up getting your nails done and spending $100, $200, and $300 on your nails and your mani and pedi, I seen a woman. This is honest to God truth, no lie. I seen a woman on the internet, and I'm gonna do a review video on her. Probably drop it today. I seen a woman on one clip say that price is too high. On the next clip, she said that she spends over $1,000 a month on self-care. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying.
Okay, and your point is? Go ahead, Cher.
I was saying he probably lying.
Yeah, I'm sure of it, because I don't know anybody in their right mind. Well, I can't say it doesn't happen, because I'm sure it does. Some people like to keep up with the Joneses. They would much rather have a Birkin bag than food in their refrigerator. That does happen. So I will give you that, Anton. But for the most part, I don't think anybody out there was hungry that would be spending $1,000 on a manicure and a pedicure instead of eating, instead of feeding their children. Does it happen? Of course. But for the masses, what you think, Cher?
I want to know what the world was he watching, and when he had time to watch it. But anyway.
Now, that's what I'm getting to. Hey there, HT Baldwin. How you doing, good brother? That's what I've been getting to this whole time. This guy has a show, folks, labeled Millionaire Morning Show. Out of curiosity, what I did was I went into YouTube and I typed into the whatchamacallit, and I just typed in shows about making money. Not one of them, and that went and listened to, was talking about folks complaining about the price of a carton of eggs. They're talking about stocks, investing in bonds, what the latest market trends are. I dare y'all to go over to Anton's place and find me the video that he's talking about the latest market trends, if he wasn't talking about how Trump done fucked it up. But that's who y'all following over there. That's who y'all listening to. He got all the answers.
I seen a woman that sat there and complained about prices. On another video, she then said that she spends over $1,000 a month on self-care. Massages, makeup, all of this stuff.
Okay. Well, Anton, let me ask you something. What would you do? Where would your source of revenue come from if everybody said, you know what, Anton, you're right. I'm cutting back. I can't super chat you no more. I'm not going to go to your Patreon no more because I need to cut back on some of this shit that I don't need. How would that affect you, Anton? Couldn't get them super chats and get old people over to your Patreon to find out that the same information that you said on your YouTube channel is the same information that they can find on your Patreon.
Hit that Patreon. When is he there to tell you anything? Shoot,
right.
He ain't never there.
I wish the fuck I would. You heard him say he watched 2 videos of this lady. You had nothing else to do. But you gonna do? But then he says he chopped it up and said, "Yeah, but I'm gonna do a video on that too, nigga. You ain't got nothing to do. You ain't got no stockbroker to call. You ain't got no investment to check on.
No payroll, no
payroll, no nothing.
No checks to sign.
Nothing. You can't say you got staff because I don't ever see him. Do you see any staff of his?
No.
Am I capping or no?
Yes. I mean, I'm sorry. Let me be quiet.
Because please, you know you can't gaslight me. Don't front. Don't front. You know it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Tonight, President Trump is warning Walmart against raising prices, telling the nation's biggest retailer and grocer to, quote, eat the tariffs. The president returned to Washington, D.C. last night, wrapping up a 3-nation trip to the Middle East. CBS's Willie James Enman is at the White House with the details. Willie James.
Jerika, good evening to you. The president spent the day here at the White House out of sight as he faces pushback on his so-called big, beautiful bill and tariffs.
This weekend, President Trump warning the nation's largest
Now, this same loose nigga over there was touting Donald Trump just a couple of days ago. I told you I was watching these streams. I've been watching this shit. So when Donald Trump was touting his big, beautiful bill and how he was made a trade with China and all this other stuff, none of that is true. Folks, Donald Trump has not made one trade agreement yet. He has not solidified any trade agreement with any major country. None. Last night, under the cloak of darkness, the Republicans tried to push a bill that over 43 million Americans would lose their health care. That the Head Start program would be gutted. Meals on Wheels would be gutted. And he's telling a for-profit business that's been in existence since 1962, you can't make no money. You got to eat it because I inflicted a self-inflicted wound on this country by initiating 104. Oh, wait a minute. I'm too high. 30% tariffs that's still costing the average American consumer an ass of a lot of money. But you hear this clown over here about Y'all can hear for yourself. Shaw, you was about to say something before I clicked on earlier. Go ahead.
I don't recall, but it's too much. Continue.
Right. And you're right. HT Baldwin. Remember what they said, the Republicans and all those said that they was not going to touch Medicaid? Shit. They're not taking a knife to it. They taking a Bushido blade to it. And they tried to do it under the cover of darkness last night, folks. That's why I tell y'all, stop watching Anton Daniels and watch. It's free. Don't cost you nothing to click on and see how they are roasting these so-called people in the cabinet positions. Kristi Noem, folks, did not know what habeas corpus is. And she is a head of the State Department. She didn't know what habeas corpus is, something that we all learned in high school. Produce the prisoner or charge him or set him free. Simple as that. But she said that's the president's discretion. A constitutional right. The president has the right to tell you that anybody could just pick you up off the street with no due process. This is what we're up against. And this is the kind of folks that Anton Daniels is saying, so what? Get a better life. Y'all listen to this nigga right here.
Posting on True Social, Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason. He then added the retailer and China should eat the tariffs. The post comes 2 days after Walmart CEO Doug McMillon warned on a quarterly earnings call that prices may rise amid the president's trade war with China and other nations.
Even at the reduced levels, the higher tariffs will result in higher prices.
Walmart is a bellwether of U.S. consumer health. In a statement to CBS News, the company said, "We'll keep prices as low as we can for as long as we can, given the reality of small retail margins."
It's a tax that consumers won't see directly in their receipt.
Walmart customers we spoke to are divided on the effect of the tariffs.
I think in the long run, it may have a good impact. Price increase is always worrisome.
Also this weekend, tensions building on Capitol.
How come everybody that they interview got an accent or they not from here? Or, why do they speak
you're an
English
idiot.
as a second and a third language?
Yep, you're an idiot.
Every single person that they, I don't want to hear that.
Hill as a handful of conservative Republicans revolt over the so-called Big Beautiful Bill.
There were 16 ayes and 21 noes.
5 Republicans on the House Budget Committee voting with all Democrats against the GOP proposal, which includes $880 billion in cuts to social programs. Conservatives say the bill does not go far enough to reduce spending.
$880 billion in cuts to social service programs. This is what Anton Daniels is telling y'all to be satisfied with. He must not have no older parents that's going to rely on Medicaid and Medicare soon. He must not have a child with a disability. He must not have someone that was a veteran that got injured in the war or suffering from PTSD. He must not know anyone like that.
Conservatives say the bill does not go far enough to reduce spending.
We're going to talk about social programs coming up. Here's my thing. And this is a crazy idea. This is an insane idea. I don't remember the last time that I actually shopped for groceries or anything other than to pick up a prescription from Walmart. There's other stores. We have local grocery stores here. We have a Myers. We got Aldi. If they decide that they want to raise prices, then there's other alternatives for y'all to shop at. You do know that, right? It's a competitive market. I don't think that Trump can tell them what to do when it comes to their business model. That is their business model. And so, you know, I think that they should take that with a grain of salt and do what they feel like is best for their business. The consumers are going to determine who the winners are, and that's what happens when you live in a capitalistic market. I think that the market is going to determine who wins and who loses. And for some reason, I think that Walmart is going to be just fine. I don't think that Walmart is.
Okay, you're an idiot. Of course, Walmart's going to be fine. It's not about Walmart. Because if Walmart starts to lose too much money, Anton Daniels, guess what? Walmart is a major employer of a whole lot of folks in this country. So not only will they make prices higher, there'll be some people that will be laid off. Already, when you go to Walmart they already make me think I'm working there.
Yeah, they got you doing self-checkout.
Right. Imagine what it's going to be now.
I don't know if Aldi still have it where you have to bag your stuff, because they had that at one time. That to help keep down on technically production. So there's different ways that stores do things so they can keep, down the cost as much as they can. But things are just keep going up in cost and less in service. And the whole fact of this whole thing that he was playing is the cost increase. It has nothing to do with Walmart.
Nothing.
In general.
Absolutely, Sharp, because it's across the board.
If you can't even fathom that in this clip, then there's something wrong. But I don't think there's anything wrong. I think he's just trying to spin the narrative, and the people that are watching can say, yeah, that's right, if they're not thinkers.
Say that again. If they're not what?
Thinkers.
Okay, exactly. Blind leading the blind over there. Because anyone that could think that this is about whether Walmart is going to survive this tariff war, of course, Walmart is going to survive. They've been around for how many years now? Walmart has, there's not too many places in this country that you can go to that you're not going to find a Walmart superstore or a neighborhood store, especially down here where I live at. But there's still an Aldi's here. I might shop at Walmart one week. I might shop at Aldi's next week. It depends on what I'm looking for. That has nothing to do with the prices that's going to go up across the board, whether it's at Walmart or Aldi's. Correct me again if I am wrong. An apple is an apple, whether I buy it at Aldi's or Walmart. The price is still going to go up because, number one, longshoremen are not working. Stuff is sitting in docks. That we're not importing or exporting as much as we did 3-4 months ago because of one reason and one reason only, the tariff war that Trump created.
I've been trying to get organic shelled peanuts for the longest. This is week number 7. Week number 7. And I cannot get any, and I'm upset about it, and that's all I can say. But I know when I get it, the cost is going to be, higher. But guess what? I want it, and I'm going to buy it. So may not be able to buy as much, but, it's what's going on.
Absolutely. And like I said, folks are going to start feeling the crunch of it really when they go to their local coffee shop in the morning. And that cup of coffee that used to cost you $4.99 at your local Starbucks going to cost you about $5.99, $6.99.
Yeah, I've already got an email from one of the coffee places that I purchased, and they already told me, hey, due to the cost, we're going to have to go up on your subscription.
That's right. And that's the same thing with me, unfortunately. If gas prices are going up or the tools that I need to, as well as my brother and any other landscape will tell you that, yeah, we had to increase on some of our prices for certain, like say for a medium-sized yard. We used to could be able to get away with charging them $45 to $50, and that's just for a cut and a quick cleanup. But now we're looking at $55, $60. It has to.
Now, let me ask you, does that have anything to do with Walmart?
Not a damn thing.
Exactly.
Not unless I go to the superstore, a Walmart superstore, and need some blades. But why would I go there when I got John Deere or Site One? People go to Walmart for specific reasons. The neighborhood grocery store made people have a choice. I don't know if you I'm sure you probably never heard of this grocery chain, but down here they call them Piggly Wigglies. Have you ever heard of them, Sure?
I have heard of them. Yeah, they're in the South. Okay.
Well, when the neighborhood Walmart came into the area, Mr. K's Piggly Wiggly tried to compete with the neighborhood superstore, but there wasn't. It was evident in the parking lot. Walmart's parking lot would be full, and Mr. K's Piggly Wiggly would be empty. Few loyal supporters over there. So finally, he closed his doors.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Anton was saying? Capitalism is all about.
Well,
you can't have it.
I'm not sure what he's trying to say, but continue.
Yeah. He's an idiot.
Business. Travis Allen says, Anton, everyone has a monthly balance and spikes don't help. So what? Then that means you got to make an adjustment. That's what happens in life. That's what happens in life. When the rent goes up, you either find somewhere else to live, or you cut back on something else, or you go and make more money, or you do all three. Either find somewhere else to live, or make some more money, or cut back on something else.
And Anton, what if none of those options are available to you? What if you are a mother and a father? Because I know y'all like to harp on single mamas. What if you are a mama and a daddy? Both of y'all go to work. The child goes to school or daycare. Are they supposed to just up jump the boogie and move because the rent went up? Are they supposed to just go ahead, Sure?
I was going to say, I got to say it. This is his millionaire mindset. That his advice to you.
Yeah. No empathy.
That's the way of the world. That's the way of inflation. When you ask for a raise in order to meet the inflation levels, and you say, I need a raise of this much from your job, you don't give a F about where the job is getting it from. You like, listen, no, the value that I add to this country, to this company is A. This is how much I need my raise to be. You can go and figure it out. Listen, if you want to cut five workers out of the call center in order to give me my raise, then we're going to have to figure out a way to be more efficient. But I'm definitely not going. How many of y'all took a haircut?
Do y'all think that would work? What he just described to you. I need my money. I don't care if you got to fire a couple of folks, but I'm going to get my raise. I don't care. I don't know where it's going to come from. And that's what you're going to tell your employer. If you work, say if you're working at Walmart, and they came up to you and said, well, you was due for a raise. We're going to give you a raise, but not as much as expected. Hold up. Y'all told me I was going to get a 5% raise, but you only give me a 4%. Y'all need to go fire somebody so I can get my money. Isn't that what he just described? And you're absolutely right. Well, I will say one thing, Anton. I don't care if the company is making money or not. I'm not. That's not my idea. I do care because if the company stops making money, that means sooner or later they're not going to negotiate with me that let me fire all these people. They're going to they starting from the top up. What I need you for? What you do? Or you tell other people what to do? Okay, let me start right there. You want how much for that? Let me start right there. Here you go. What you say there, ABT? Let's see how much his shit pops off when his views go down cause the way of the world. I said that earlier, ABT. Let's see how it goes then. Shit. Hey, Anton, what you gonna do when they stop watching you and go to one of your competitors? I hate to use her name, but I'll have to. What are you gonna do when they start watching Auntie Yanni instead of you?
When I go into a company, I don't care about whether you're profitable, unprofitable, whether you're going through things. I want my money.
You are an idiot. Why would you go work for a company that's not profitable? Make sense to y'all? Did what he said just make sense? I don't care if the company's profitable or not. Why the fuck would they hire you, Anton, if they're not profitable? What would be the purpose of adding employees to a payroll that's non-existent?
I have to ask, since you've been suffering listening to this content creator, what I will ask, has he said anything to those that have lost money for the stock market and all that? Any encouraging words, any ideas or thoughts that he has given them?
Well, I can sum it up in 2 words. Oh well. Oh well. Y'all should have chose better stocks. You should have had your money, and you should have put your money in better places.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Money. I don't care what is going on. I don't care who. Anton, would you like to take a pay cut in order to save jobs? Nope. They'll find new jobs. It's the way of the world. I done been laid off a bunch of times before. 2008 was rough. We survived it, and we thriving. We learned some lessons. We got some new skills. We made some adjustments. Anton, No, I seen all of them women in the call center wearing bonnets anyway. They need to go ahead and get a different job.
Y'all notice how everything is negative when he speaks negative. Sooner or later, he draws it back to
the black woman.
The black woman.
The black woman specifically.
Everything. So black women, I'll ask y'all, that all of y'all black women that's over there cheering Anton on. Why? He's talking about you.
No, they don't think so. That's why they're there. You got to remember, if they were thinking people, they would be thinking that, wait a minute, he just said this first and then he just changed it. And then 2 minutes later, he changed it back. But see, they don't hear it. They're not, they're not paying attention.
P.T. Barnum said it best, a sucker born every minute.
That's the way of the world. Capitalism is not perfect. Capitalism is not perfect, but it works. It works better than any other society, any other country, and all of that. It just is what it is. Anton, but my budget is tight. Well, look like you need to get a new job. You need to level up. Stop working the same job that you've been working since you was 18 years old. That job was for teenagers. You wasn't supposed to still be there. But my budget is messed up. Looks like it's time to level up. Time to level up. We live in the United States of America. You should have been taking one class every semester since you've been here. They pay, your job paid for it. Take advantage of it.
Well, let me ask y'all folks, how many of y'all had a job, other than some folks that's been in the military, that the job offers to send you to school, or they offer it for you to, not unless it's something directly related to that job? Do they send you off to college to get a PhD in astrophysics, or do they send you off to the school that they want you to learn the type job that you're about to do?
Usually it's pertaining to the job because it's an investment.
Okay. I thought it was me.
Oh, no, it's not you at all.
Okay. All right. I thought I was missing something.
Oh.
But this is the advice that he gives about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Because probably as we speak right now, he's either talking about uploading something or done uploaded something, or he's live.
Yeah.
You should have been taking one class every semester since you've been here. They pay, your job paid for it. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Your job paid for you to take classes. You decided not to take classes. Now you worried about getting laid off. That's the way of the world. The market is turning. People want a different type of car. They want a different type of engine. They want a different type of product. You don't serve the market anymore. You are not owed the job. You need to adjust to whatever the market is doing. I can't take my girl out. My 5 kids need to be fed. Who told you to have 5 kids? I knew it was going to be expensive because I was paying attention to how much it costs to raise 1 kid. I intentionally only had 1 kid because I wasn't sure how rich I was going to be or how long it was going to take me to get there. And I didn't want to put my resources into 7 kids. So I only had 1. Thought about not having any. Glad
I don't think that had nothing to do with you. I think that had something to do with the wife.
I'm here to tell you. I guarantee you this. I don't think she purposely didn't want to bring another motherfucker like you into this world. I don't think that had nothing to do with you.
Not at all. That's just I'm just guessing.
But then again, y'all listen to this rhetoric this guy is speaking about. If you got 5 kids business, you should have had 5 kids. How do you know? What word am I looking for? Can anybody tell me what's going to happen tomorrow?
Intuition, is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah. Does he have some premonition into what's going to go on tomorrow?
He might tell you that he does.
Well, that would be the only way that you can tell me that you know tomorrow that you're going to wake up and tomorrow is a guarantee of financial success, or that you might not lose your job, or you might not get in a car accident, heaven forbid, or something you might stub your toe, because we don't know what tomorrow is. We don't know what's going to happen. So Anton, I don't know how old your child is. So you telling me you based your entire family life on whether how much money you was gonna make or not? Yeah, if y'all ladies with 2 or 3 kids over there, I'd be hauling ass if I was you.
Money, we don't owe your funky kids anything, and so we're going to be careful about where we put our resources. Your kids ain't one of them. I don't care about your kids. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a you problem, not a me problem. It's expensive in New York City. Why you in New York City?
Move. That's what he's going to tell you.
Cheaper. And ain't nobody like New York, though, because we got a winning basketball team. Okay, we'll pay the price to be there.
So he think folks only live in New York because they got a good basketball team. What about all the motherfuckers that don't watch basketball, Anton?
Ooh, I done tapped out really 7 minutes ago, but I'm
this
trying.
guy, I know, but see, the thing about it is,
it's ridiculous. The more he talks,
it is. But I'm not going to suffer to this by myself. Hey there, Cassandra. How you doing? Good to see you. No, I can't go to this by myself. For all of y'all folks that live in New York, y'all know why you're there, right? The Knicks.
Basketball.
They playing bad shit. Wait a minute. I thought, is that why y'all live in Chicago? Because of Michael Jordan?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it.
And we'll pay the price to be there.
I can't think. I'm trying to think of somebody famous from South Carolina right now. I can't say I'm here because of the Carolina Panthers because they suck.
Well, just say that's why you're there.
That's why I live here, folks. That's why I decided to grow up. I knew one day as a little black boy that eventually one day that we was going to get us a pro football team called the Carolina Panthers. That was my premonition. That was my intuition that told me that. So I said, I'm going to move here because one day it's going to happen.
America is huge, and there are some cheaper, much, much cheaper places to live. You don't want to live there because you don't feel like you got enough motion and ain't no holes there. Well, guess what? It costs to be in the middle of New York City. I do not want to permanently move to Miami. You know why? Because I don't want that much of my money going over to living in Miami. It ain't enough in Miami for me. For other people, it makes sense. For
because
other
you ain't got the
people,
money.
and I'm not telling other people that they can't move to Miami.
No,
but the way this
nigga,
is,
no, nigga, because you ain't got that kind of Miami money. You ain't got that South Beach money. No disrespect to the folks in. Isn't he from Detroit or some area like that? No disrespect to y'all, but
Yeah.
I'm sure the cost of living is not as expensive as it is to live in South Beach or some parts of Miami. I'm sure of that. And as a matter of fact, Anton, I can tell you right now, since you want to think that that's the only expensive place in the world is Detroit, bring your happy black ass down here and try to move over to Fripp Island. That's in South Carolina, bruh. Bring your happy black ass down here and try to move on to Hilton Head Island. You ain't got that kind of money, man.
I don't want to spend $40,000 to live where I want to live. I would rather stay where I am, and I'm doing just fine. We doing just fine where we are. I'll go and visit, and I'm going to go home. I'm good. I'll go and visit. I want more of my money to be set aside for the things that I want to do. I don't want to go over there. So I know, okay, so I'm going to pull back on this, and this is where we're going to put more money on that. I don't want to live where you want to live. I don't feel like I need to be there. I think it's more motion in these other places.
What if the average person, and again, no disrespect to us average folks, but the majority of us is one paycheck away or two paychecks away from being summarily asking you to leave your place. Most of us don't have $400 in the bank for the emergency. So, Anton, if the prices went up in Detroit right now to where they doubled your rent, would you move? Or could you afford to live there? My mama used to say, don't say nothing if you ain't got nothing nice to say. Fuck that, mama.
Maybe you don't need to go to Disney World this year. Maybe you need to go to Cedar Point for one day instead of spending $20,000 for the whole family to go to Disney World. Time to go to Cedar Point. And it only takes us 2 hours to get there. We can be there and back in the same day. We ain't even got to get a hotel room. No need to stand in Sandusky, Ohio. Ain't even no good hotel rooms like that in Sandusky, Ohio. We're going to go to Cedar Point and we're going to come home. Kids going to ride roller coasters. They're going to probably have more fun at Cedar Point than they are on Disney World. They don't need to see the mouse. If you want a mouse, go buy a mouse costume and outfit and then go and show up. Hey, I'm Mickey Mouse and I'm Minnie Mouse. Take them to Cedar Point.
Again, folks, I'm not familiar with Cedar Point is. Charlie, you know? Is that like a resort area or something? I've never heard of Cedar Point before, so I don't know what that is, folks. But I'm sure that if you had a choice between going to Cedar Point or going to Disney World, I'm going to Disney World. To me, that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for a whole lot of folks. If I'm taking my family on a vacation, if all I got to do is get in my car, back up, and I'm at the place of the vacations, that ain't much of a vacation if I can still see my house. I'm trying. I know, folks. We're getting through this.
Chaba the Don says $40,000 a month is wild. It's not unheard of. It is not unheard of to have the lifestyle that I have, but then if you move it into a different region, it's going to cost you $40,000 a month.
$40,000
You don't need to go on a vacation. Maybe you need to go on a staycation. Hey, babe, we ain't really got it. We ain't got it. I'm building my business. I'm taking care of business. I'm on top of things. I'm doing what I got to do. But I'm going to get a hotel room in this place and we're going to have a good time. But don't tell her that. But don't sell it to her. Listen, don't sell it to her like that, though. Don't sell it to her like I just said. Sell it to her differently. Give her the game a little bit differently. Don't tell her you can't do it because you ain't got it. Say that we going to do this because I think it's more fun. Hey, babe, I got this plan for you.
So you're right.
Hey,
So basically, he's saying lie to your women and your children. That's what he's just basically saying. Lie to them. Instead of going to Disney World, we're gonna go to Cedar Point. Now I found out it's like a Six Flags. Well, if y'all don't know it or not, Six Flags ain't cheap no more.
Hey, babe, I got this plan for you. I got a surprise for you. She don't care. She don't care. She just want to have fun. She want to think. She want to feel thought of. You keep on trying to fly him out. Oh no, I'm gonna take you to Bora Bora. I'm gonna
Isn't that
take
what
you
he's
to
saying?
this.
Isn't that what he's saying, ABT? That he really broke? That he really ain't got it like that? Isn't that exactly what he's saying? I'm really broke. I ain't got it like that. We just gonna go to Cedar Point.
Going to Bora Street. It's shopping. It's a market. We gonna go roller skating. We gonna have some fun. We gonna have some sandwiches. Hey, we don't need Bora Bora. We got Bora Street right down the street, right there. We gonna have a fun time. Bora Bora is for later. Bora Street is where we hanging out today. All right. Universal Studios is better than Disney, if you ask me. Trump is telling Walmart that they need to eat the tariffs, allegedly. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel with turning notifications. Let's look at it from a couple different lenses.
Walmart says their first quarter profits slipped and they have to raise their prices as a result of the tariffs, threatening their low price model.
The prices are just too on the high side. It's on the high side, especially for middle class, low income earners. It's tough. When you have 2-3 children, groceries.
But it's the reality for consumers across the country. Walmart is the latest retailer to announce price hikes due to the rising tariffs on China and other countries imposed by the Trump administration.
If these tariffs prove to be permanent, they will probably likely reevaluate that supply chain and find and source products from other countries that have perhaps lower tariffs to basically ensure that they can, continue to call themselves a low price retailer.
Towson University economist Darius Irani says the tariffs have been lowered from 145% to 30%, but the effect on consumers is still the same.
145% is effectively sort of a blockade, an embargo, because at that price, at that level of tariffs, it becomes almost, it's not profitable at all to import those goods. 30%, there's still a margin to be made, but some of that increase in cost will be borne by the consumers.
Shoppers say they've already noticed prices going up because of inflation, and they say they are feeling the pinch.
Things that I used to buy, don't really buy them anymore, or I cut down on, most of, my list.
Families say they're tightening their belts as best they can, but there's only so much they can do without. They're not looking forward to more price hikes.
Remember, this is not the only thing we got to do. We got clothing. We got to pay bills.
Well, again, folks, this is just a little bit of what I go through for the last 2.5, 3 weeks of listening to Anton. And listening to him gaslight. I won't call it gaslight because he is an effective he's an effective bullshitter. And if you don't know the correct definition of bullshitter, type in Fareed Azar or something like that. He's a whatchamacallit. He explains what a bullshitter is, and that is what Anton Daniels is. He really believes that what he is saying is true, and instead of him giving you the facts, he will continue to roll on to what he believes in. He's a narcissist. Someone said that earlier. He absolutely is. And as someone said, most narcissists lack empathy. That anything that you hear Anton Daniels say showed a man that's empathetic to human society as a whole, or even to his family. The last part of that video, we heard him say instead of taking his children and his wife to Disney World, sacrificing, making his family happy, lied to him. And if times get hard, times get rough, take your ass out, move somewhere. Better yet, If you're speaking with a different dialect, you shouldn't even be here. That's what I got from this 19 minutes of listening to this fucking clown.
You know, I'm sorry I wasn't able to unmute. I wasn't familiar with the particular place, but I was just wondering as I was listening, what does that have to do with the beginning of the show? But you know what I realized? That he plays something from a news channel or whatever, and that's to get you there. That is probably the most genuine thing that on his channel is the news clip. Outside of that, it just goes downhill.
And that's how exactly, Shari. I guess great minds think alike. So that was my question to you before we get up out of here. That was my question to anyone in the audience or anyone that might be listening to us later on. I challenge all of y'all to go over to Anton Daniels' channel, and if you can stomach it, listen to him. Look at the title that he puts out, and then listen to him and tells me, please inform me that when he speaks on the title of the actual subject, when is he on subject about anything? It's all about him. It's all about y'all black women. Black women ain't this. Black women ain't that. Everything that's relatable, that's bad about that man's life, he can attribute to one thing: black women, or women in general. So my last question to you, Anton, and I'll keep asking this: how does it feel to be on the side, actually, of folks that really don't like you? Because we saw how Donald Trump treated that South African president today. Y'all haven't seen that? Go look. Go look how Donald Trump tried to embarrass that head of another country. President told him, I listen, I ain't got a plane to give you. But this is who Anton roots for. And to all you black women out there that super chat Anton, that spend your hours and your days watching him, my question to you again is why? When there's so many other places that you could get valuable information from, just like Cher pointed out, you can go watch a news clip from CNN anywhere. Right, Cher? You ain't gotta go to his channel to get it. Because that's basically what he does. He plays it for a little while he's thinking of some fucked up shit to say. Never really comments on it. Did he comment on anything on the video that we was hearing? Did he comment, Cher? Did you hear him comment on anything?
Not that was true. He started poking at the people that's being interviewed, the store itself. Then he went off somewhere else.
Yeah, they have HT Baldwin. You're absolutely right. There's a whole lot of people now that I'm finding out because he's in my algorithm. There's a whole lot of people that's calling Anton Daniels out. And on the next Loose Nigga Roundup starring Anton Daniels, he, folks, said that Obsidian did not get kicked off of, well, not Anton Daniels, I'm sorry. We're going to leave Anton Daniels alone, but this next Loose Nigga Roundup is going to be about Obsidian. Obsidian told some folks just a couple weeks ago, well, probably a week ago, 2 weeks ago, so it's in my algorithm still, 10 days ago, that he got kicked off of you. He didn't know why he got kicked off YouTube. Cher, do you have any idea why Obsidian got kicked off YouTube?
I do, but maybe he has amnesia, It's possible. Never know.
Yeah, he said that he lost his YouTube channel for copyright strikes.
Well, technically, it kind of started there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you just got to get several of them and then Google, complaints, and then you just do it. So, yeah. Yeah.
So, just for shits and giggles, folks, Next loose nigga roundup is how these dumb niggas think that either we forget or the internet makes shit disappear. Starring Obsidian. I know why you got kicked off of YouTube. And what's his name? The brother that allowed him up on your panel. Y'all should have done your homework. I wouldn't want to be in the crosshairs of the real reason Obsidian lost his channel. Would you, Cher?
No.
And maybe y'all didn't hear that disclaimer from the people or the person that actually is the reason why Obsidian doesn't have a channel anymore, at least on YouTube. He's a relish to the island of misfits. Try to say that the man is doing better over there. No, he is not. But anyway, folks, that'll be our next loose nigga roundup. I'm going to try and find a way to invite 47 to the chat. I got a few questions to ask him.
All right.
About the plane, about the people that he hired. I'd be interested in knowing some of the answers that he gave me. So I'm going to get with my people and I'm going to get with his people and see if he can spare some time away from Anton Daniels toting his nuts.
You like that little chick.
I guess so. I guess he liked being teabagged. Anyway, Cher, let's get on up out of here. You want to say anything before we talk this out?
I'll say have a very safe holiday. Don't spend all your money on food because you got to eat the next day and the next week.
Yeah. There's definitely a holiday season is coming up there, folks. For those of you that might be listening to me on the radio, I do believe I have a wedding this Sunday, so I may not be doing the Music Cafe live this Sunday, but if the wedding is over by 8 o'clock, that's where you folks can catch me at the Music Cafe. Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday nights, we do a little smooth jazz and what do I say? Sure. Jazz, and more damn jazz.
Yeah, on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays. Anyway, and make sure y'all check out HT Ball One. He does the Soulful House house mix on Thursday nights from 11 to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check him out. Before that, you heard Dreadhead said the other day, another one of the DJs that pop over here from the YouTube streets from time to time. So y'all check them out over there, right? With that, we got to get up out of here, folks. Be safe. Watch your 3, your 6, and your 9 and say hello to somebody. Might change the way they're thinking. Might change the way they're living. Y'all be good.
Look, all you motherfuckers been snitching for him and shit. Now you standing up in here and goddamn it talking about preaching preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddammit. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Yeah. Y'all know the motherfucker ain't no good. You want, look,